Today is November 15th. This is my last video for this year. The video is mostly was it worth it, but also a little bit of a cleanup. As you can see, I already pulled everything out, almost everything out. My peppers have been cut down to overwinter. I'm gonna move them into a smaller container. I have one tomato plant that I'm gonna try and grow inside so I can have a few tomatoes during the winter. Here I have one cabbage and a couple of lettuces. I have some radishes that are growing here. Some carrots are still growing. I'm gonna pull them out on Tuesday. On Tuesday we're expecting to go down into the 20s and then possible snow afterwards. So the gardening season is over. So lots more carrots here. Lettuces and radishes. Same thing here. These carrots are definitely big enough to pull them out. You can see I cut all of my peppers. I'm going to overwinter them. Right now they're just mulched. All of the tomatoes have been pulled out. My forest is gone. I have the strawberries that will be mulched a little bit later, just before the frost hits. I still have some herbs here. Oregano and rosemary is doing really well. It's still green. And lots of sorrel and also some carrots here. But also I have this wonderful set of green peas. As you can see, they are in full production mode. Of course the frost will kill it, but at least I still have 2 more days for them to grow a little bit bigger, and then I'll be able to pick them just before the hard freeze. So total, there is another pepper I put in here instead of squash, so I can overwinter it. I'll move it inside into the dark place. And this year I had 24 or 2,000 containers that I was growing. Tomatoes, peppers, cucumbers, watermelons, cantaloupes, cabbages, lettuces, lots of herbs, blueberries. Those are done for the winter. And I still have a few salads here, and bok choy is also growing. So bok choy, if I survive, I'll cover it up for the hard frost. I have my oranges are ready to be moved inside. Way back there. What you cannot see, unfortunately, is that it decided to go into bloom again. There we go. So, look up, it's blooming again. Hopefully it will stay that way. So the big question is, after the season, was gardening worth it? Let me show you the remaining of the produce that I picked today, and then I'm gonna go over numbers while I'm looking at it. So I had to dump everything into this huge sink. It's a double sink, but there was no other place where I could put everything without completely overloading every single container. You can see I still have a ton of tomatoes. I've got these purple peppers that are some green, some already ripening. Gorgeous jalapenos, lovely bell peppers. And the hardest part of gardening is cutting down all of this stuff when you see just how much it could still be growing and producing. I mean, all of this stuff could still be growing. Look at these beauties. You really cannot find these in the store. Anyways, So what do you do with all of these green ones? Well, tomatoes are easy. They will actually ripen on their own. I'm gonna strip them from these branches. I'm gonna lay them out, and slowly they will turn and ripen. The ones that are already ripening, they're easy. They're gonna be done within a couple of days. The rest will take a few weeks. So through the winter I'll have quite a few tomatoes as they're ripening, and I won't have to buy them. And there's more stuff as I was picking. So nice large tomatoes. These are salad tomatoes that I'm gonna have for the winter. Some are already ripe, but couldn't keep up. Again, so was it worth it? All of this stuff plus all the things that I ate and picked over the summer and beginning of spring, started with radishes and herbs. I made some calculations and I looked at my grocery expenses from last year compared to this year. So I saved about $3,500. Now take out about $500 that I invested in the containers and the soil as a startup for my garden, since I had just moved in spring. So it's a clean benefit of about $3,000. Now the question is it worth it? When I look at my produce that I had been picking like this, I mean, for me, absolutely yes. Now there are two parts, and this is why the question becomes completely dependent on you. Is it worth it for you? If you have small income and your budget is tight, then absolutely. This is more than supplements, and it saves you on all of the stuff that you don't have to buy in a store. I mean, granted, Americans don't eat a whole lot of vegetables, but if you're like me and most of my food intake is about 90% of it is vegetables. So tomatoes, cucumbers, peppers, that's my staples. Herbs, chives, celery, all of that stuff. That's what I normally eat, and that's what saved me. And then there is the watermelons and cantaloupes that I was able to pick this year. So all of that added up. Now, if you're in a high earner category, and I mean really high, we're talking about salaries from $400K and up, we're talking about a savings of what you would make in a single day. That if you divide your salary of 400, your daily the daily earning is equivalent to the saving. Is it worth it? That's up to you. This is where the intangibles come from. Again, as I look at this stuff, is it worth for me having absolutely the freshest possible? As I bring them home, it doesn't get any fresher. This is just picked. You know what you're growing, you know what you've put into it, you know what's in it. You know you don't have any pesticides or herbicides. It's not GMO. It's not modified. It has not been exposed to any other chemicals. It's absolutely clean, the freshest vitamins you could possibly get. There is also the intangible peace of mind as you're actually gardening. It's also one heck of a workout. Of course, some people don't enjoy it. They think it's a lot of work and it's too hard and lots of time. But for me, it's an enjoyment. Yes, I get my workout out of all of this. And then the enjoyment when I pick something as beautiful as this, I mean, granted, it's the end of the season, so it doesn't look all that pretty. But for me, this is the joy. The harvest itself, the bounty, the incredible amount. And yes, I'm gonna have lots of green tomatoes. I can do green fried tomatoes. I can pickle them. I can ferment them green, and they're gonna be very tasty. And I'm gonna give a lot of the peppers away. I have several neighbors here who absolutely adore hot peppers. Don't ask me why, but they do. Whether it's cayenne peppers, whether it's these jalapenos or these large jalapenos, whether it's poblano, they love peppers. And I've been giving a lot of produce away this summer, so there's quite a few people who are benefiting other than I. And I think it also serves as a nice neighborly bond that allows us to bond together and enjoy these experiences together, share the experience. So again, only you can decide whether it's worth it. For me, the answer is unequivocally yes. So thank you for joining me. Again, this was my last update for this year. I will start again next year when the new season is starting and I start seedlings. And until 2021.